like I said at the beginning of the stream, what we're going to be doing here is going into the new game setting. And once we get into there, I'm going to go ahead and start creating a new race. As you can see, I just finished playing the Sanghili. Blessed Sanghelios. We will not be playing them today. What we will be doing is creating a new race entirely. Now, I do have a little bit of a different process for this. So what I like to do is, instead of worrying about appearances or anything like that, I'm going to go straight down to government. You know what, we're going to go to our origin. We're going to start with our empire, because this is going to say a lot about who we are as a group of people. Because I don't want to just go with a prosperous unification. And the game is modded. So we do have some extra stuff. We are modded, so I'd actually better put that in the title. So we do have some unique setups. So, for example, we could just stay with the standard prosperous unification, but I'm not going to do that. We have the Mechanists, Synchromatic Evolution. We've seen that. Revenants is actually the one that I just finished. That one is a little bit something like, you are the civilization that spawned up with different ruins left around. You gotta try to navigate that and see what's going on with that. So that's the thing that I'm just trying to figure out, is who are we going to be? It's like, I don't want to be connected to anything overtly too much. I want to kind of just have this loose, independent species feel, and then we're going to go ahead and move on from there. As you can tell, we do have some of the different Mass Effect mods added, just to add a little bit of extra flavor. So what am I thinking about us to play today? What's Red Dawn? Oh, it's that Red Dawn. Okay, I used to play that game as a kid. Do I want to play on Mars? I do not want to play on Mars. Dual Evolution, that's an exciting one. Gaia. What's Magnetic, I guess? Oh, that's a synthetic 3-body problem. I don't want to get too crazy with things, but I'm kind of... Oh, I don't have these out there. Yeah, I need more DLC. We're going to go with something a little bit more stable. You know, I'm actually kind of thinking like we should go with the engineering genetics. That's kind of calling out to me. This species has, early in its lifetime, worked to reduce the genetic imperfections and impurities, enabling them to focus on positive traits. We start with gene tailoring as our technology, and we actually gain access to powerful trait options. Okay. Due to technological limitations, you will get to pick the traits after the start game. Alright. That's nice. I like that idea. It does not have just all... We don't need to know about any of that. Let's go ahead with genetic engineering. So we started to focus on genetic evolution as soon as we understood the genome. Okay. So that's going to mix up my normal playstyle. Do we want to be a little bit more authoritarian? Because it does make sense that an authoritarian state would like force that kind of idea forward to the point where they've actually changed the entire species. But do we... I feel like that's more of a fanatic thing for them to do. I'm kind of feeling like we're going to be fanatic authoritarian materialists. Actually, I feel like we would be... Yeah, you know, that makes sense. That would make solid sense. Which means we can only have a dictatorial or an imperial species. If people are here right now, feel free to talk in chat and you can influence me as to what I do. I kind of like Imperial because it lets you have a little bit more of a stable empire, but I'm going to go with Dictator. So when he does die, the individual will be elected and then they are there forever, whereas if we go Imperial, it's just one solid family. But at the same time, we could have more size versus more influence. I kind of want the size bonus because I want us to be a far spread civilization. It makes a lot more sense to me. And we're going to go ahead and... Let's see, we are genetically modified. What's a Byzantine? Stability from bureaucrats. I'm kind of feeling that vibe. Let's go with that. And then, for the other thing that we're going to go ahead with, I don't know if I want that yet. We'll come back to it. We'll come back. Don't you worry. We'll probably go with it in the long run. I just want to make sure I do this. What's functional architecture? I don't know. I feel like somebody who's focused on genetics would probably be more based on architecture being standard. Plus, we get more building slots. That's going to be nice in the long run. Actually, we're genetically modifying ourselves. I feel as though it might make sense for us to go with the merchant guilds because they're going to be selling chemicals to each other, trying to convince one another. And then we can go ahead and go with the Philosopher Kings, because I feel as though it might be important for us to have had a powerful leader who could have like explained the philosophy of wanting us to become an individual species of great power and importance, that it's something worthy of our species escaping out into the world. I kind of like that. So the very next thing we're going to do,
the weak govern, the strong rule.
There we go. Okay, our advisor's pretty hot. Let's go. Now, what will our empire be named? We're going to go back to our appearances, and we're going to figure that out first. So do we want space dwarves? I always really start on female rulers. I want to do that myself. I don't mind female rulers, I'm just curious. We could have Doctor Who races. That seems like that would be fun. I haven't really watched Babylon 5, but we could do that. Let's go ahead and look through some of the others. So let's see what tickles my fancy. Oh, okay, fantasy. Ooh. So we are trying to give off the air of being genetically modified. So we want something that kind of looks like it's been achieved by the masses to be like mass made, I guess. Mass Effects program. Now we have more miscellaneous. What's special races? That must be new. Oh, okay, that's how. Do we want to be a Star Trek? I don't know if I want to be a Star Trek race or not. I don't think that's going to be the vibe we go with today. It's going to be interesting seeing what we do get in the long haul. I've already been at it for 27 minutes. Okay. We could go with Valerians, Space Valerians. They have dragons. Now we get into the more detailed of the normal stuff. Authoritarian, genetically modified individuals. Let's see. I'm kind of feeling a fungoid for this. I mean, if you really think about it, fungus is supposed to have one of the most baseline DNA structures I think I've heard about. Do we want to be the furry fungoid? I haven't actually played a fungoid yet, so it's going to be interesting. We're going to go ahead and randomly generate some names just to see what we got. No, not the Dijon. I just played with them in the game. Let's go with something different. Let's go with the Vak Torin. Vaktorian. Vaktorians. Vak Torian. What kind of story are we looking to tell? We are the Vaktorian. Vaktorian. We are the Vaktorin, a proud species of fungoid. People who have worked to create a pure specimen. Having forged their own path amongst the stars, or among their planets, the species grew quick and spread across their world. We don't need to go too deep into it, just because of the nature of the beast. Ooh. Let's see. I'm just waiting for it to load. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and grab some fungoid names. Again, we don't have to worry too much. We're going to go ahead and be naming them. And we're going to call our ships the Spores. I kind of like these second set of names just because it's nice and solid, so we're going to go ahead with that. We're going to go right into going for traits. What kind of traits are going to be prevalent with our species? We get 2 points, but we can pick up to 5 traits because there are some traits that will be giving us negative modifiers. Now, the nice thing about this is that you get to actually go in and customize your species. So what is something that we feel that our species had naturally? I feel like sociology, because again, we're genetically modifying. That offers us society research, which makes kind of sense when you figure that convincing an entire society to turn into genetically modified individuals is probably for the better of them. And I'm not going to say they're traditional because we're breaking tradition. I mean, it kind of makes sense for them to be communal, if I say that. And I mean, it does let us have extra housing, which is going to be important later on, I feel. Now, we do have some negative modifiers, something that we could do. Again, we're in the Mass Effect stuff, but they might have some cool stuff going on. I'm not seeing anything that's going to actually... Well, we could be obnoxious. We very well could just be obnoxious. We have more population amenities used, but we would also decrease... Okay, that's painful. Well, we could be fanatical. That's plus 10, but we also don't allow much in the way of immigration. Fanatics are like debris following the course of the wind. They are swept around like sand and convinced to believe in what they do not understand. You know, that right there, I like. We are definitely going to be opportunistic because somebody had to take advantage of our people. So we now have 1. What's our last good trait going to be? Collectivist is pretty solid. Why don't we sacrifice individual rights for majority wishes? Well, so we get extra population, good upkeep. It's going to take away from housing even more, but we get less credits. I think that's going to be working because, you know, obviously our species has been genetically modified. It's been convinced by a group of people to actually go ahead and let their leaders go ahead and modify them. So we're going to go on to the homeworld. Where did we live? Where did we rise up as a species? This isn't necessarily too dramatic, but it will also affect where in the world or where in the galaxy we can settle up to a certain point. Now we are a fungus. It does make sense for a wet climate. I kind of like the idea of us either being in a tropical or a continental. But you know, I think this time around we're going to go with a savanna world. And what are we going to talk? I want to name it something more unique. We are on a savanna world, which is a dry, rocky world dominated by dry, arid plains covered in nitrogen, oxygen, atmosphere. That small hydrosphere allows for brief, wet seasons, which would be conducive to mold growth. But aside from a few ubiquitous grasses and vegetation, is largely concentrated around the shallow oasis. And there we go. Barbarbok. Validron is the very first name that comes to mind. And what do we want? I mean, a trinary or binary could definitely make sense. I don't recognize any of these names. Oh, some of them I recognize. We're gonna go with a random trinary 2. No, I don't want to do a trinary. Let's go ahead. I did that with the St. Helios. We'll go with the random binary. We can do that. What does our city look like? We don't have access to that. We already got you taken care of. What's our empire name? Vaktorin High Kingdom? No. Genetic dictatorship. What will our flag be today? Let us find out. Now for a flag, I feel like it's going to be very important to match colors a little bit here. Because we can say this is the first leader, right? So he would have had the most influence. So our second color is going to be red. He's had massive influence. We're going to go ahead and... We don't necessarily need to worry about it too much, but I kind of want to make something that does look like it would be a fungi. Kind of like the Legion ones. Let's go ahead with that. We can do that. And we're going to go ahead with the fungoid ship. Ooh, that is sexy. Oh, baby! Okay. Whew. By comparison, it's so small. Alright, so this is probably going to be my least important part, but we do get to name the name. Genetic Forerunner. What's our room gonna be like? We are definitely an interesting fungoid. I think that feels pretty authoritarian. Next. Okay, I think we're pretty good to go. I'm going to just take a couple seconds to go ahead and send out another tweet. Oh wow, 10 notifications. Okay. Somebody's just not... What? People in Twitter are apparently going to be spamming me. I feel like some of these graphic designers are bots at this point, man. Just going to go ahead and send this out. Hey, I'm getting ready to start streaming Stellaris. We're going to be playing as a genetically modified super race of fungoid people known as the Vortatorin. Let's go! Oh wait, that doesn't do. Hey, we're going to be streaming here on DevinNation 12 at twitch.tv. We're going to be playing as the Vaktorin, the genetic dictatorship who has developed their fungoid species to be new in the genetic age. Okay. One more tweet real quick just to see about catching some numbers. Alright, hot and sweaty, just like Mom's spaghetti, we are ready to go. I'm just gonna wipe my face down because it's so bloody hot. Puritans, right? Genetic Puritans, that'd be the way to go. The Vaktorim rise to the stars. We're about to start the campaign. I'd love to see you. So it says we're still just at 1 follower. That hasn't changed. But we're going to keep on going at it. We're going to truck right on through. I just want to make sure that I put this down. We're going to keep on going at it. Truck right on through. Yeah, we're at 1 person. Hi, 1 person. I appreciate you. I'm going to just make sure that this video went live. I'm sorry, there is so much maintenance that I'm doing right now. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out by the time I put it on my YouTube later. Hey, follower number 2, or viewer number 2, I appreciate you for stopping by. I'm just doing a couple more minutes just to give everything to starting position. When I say starting position, just particular, I'm sending out socials right now just to make sure that my stuff is getting out there, outreach is being sent, because I'm getting ready to start this campaign. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Feel free to share if you don't mind, or retweet. Just give me 1 more moment here and I will be right with you. I can also see you in chat, so if you see me looking down and to the right, I'm looking at you. So feel free to say hi if you like. Today we're going to be playing as the fungoid genetic Puritans known as the Vaktorim. They are a savanna-based species that have grown powerful enough to essentially have one of them become the utmost pinnacle of, who they are. And they have convinced the people below them that they should abandon their traditional ways as a fungoid people and embrace the way of genetic modification into this new future. And we've given them this proper stats to and traits to actually follow through with that belief. So this is going to be interesting for me. It's custom modified starts that we get, and we're also going to be able to choose more options once we start the game proper. I just want to make sure that I get all of this taken care of so I can just send it out and not have to worry about it. So we will be starting here in a moment. Just got to do a couple more things here to make sure that the video I just sent to YouTube gets out there in time. Stellaris 2016. Alright, now with that out of the way, we can go ahead and get this stream started up and running. Thank you for stopping by, thank you for being patient with me. We're going to go ahead and just jump right on into this. As soon as it opens back up. So yes, this is our species here. We've already gone ahead and saved it. We're going to go ahead and resave it just to be double sure, and then we're going to go live right into it. We're just going to go with whatever these standards are, and because it's modded, it's not going to give us achievements. That's okay, that's not what we're playing for. Oop. Hold up, messing up. In the eons since the first primitive Vaktorian communities took shape in the comfortable lands and favorable environments of Arbarbok, our civilization has spread and prospered. Historically, there are many examples of leaders trying to purify our race, selectively trying to encourage desirable genes in our species while eliminating others. However, their crude methods and rudimentary definition of desirable are suitably solely for primitives. Only the artificial can be perfect. Whoops. Created without defects to enhance the positive, and thus our scientists sought perfection. Designer genomes tailored without error. Now, after the discovery of the hyperlane network, the finest minds of the Vaktorian genetic dictatorship have finished development of the first hyperdrives. The stars themselves are finally within our grasps. So we will begin. So let's find out first and foremost where in the universe we live. Alright, so we are down in the southwestern quadrant of the galaxy here, which is pretty solid. So what kind of people are we going to be? We're going to be genetically Puritans. We're going to see how well this goes. The very first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and pick field modulation. Actually, we're going to go with zero laboratories. A lot of critical research can only be done in a zero gravity environment. We're going to get better research output, which is going to help us a little. Sociologically, we're going to go with planetary unification. We're going to unify our people because that's what we did when we first started to rise up. And then we're going to go into engineering, and I feel like the very first thing we're going to do is start geothermal fracking. If we do the geothermal fracking, that means that we're going to get better minerals early on. Now the next thing that we're going to do is go to our science ship. We start off with an individual already assigned to it, so we're going to go into the survey system. And we're going to get to work right off the bat. Trying to figure out what's going on here. And, alright. Engineered genetics. Over the past century or so, our species has been working to reduce its genetic imperfections and impurities, enabling us to focus more on positive traits and genetic makeup across the entire species. Due to the complicated process involved, we have only been able to focus on one primary trait to better our entire species with, specializing in a certain type of unnatural evolution. Which one was it again? Well, do we want artificial evolution? We're evolved predatory hunters. Okay, I like this. Evolved nutritional absorption seems like the most natural one. Regenerative adaptability. I think nutritional absorption makes more sense, but I don't know. There we go. Making gene editing tools widely available is sure to have a positive impact on our development as a species. Bet. Alright. We will go ahead and start building up on Barbatok. Actually, let's not do that. We're going to build this up. And we're not. We were doing construction. They're going to get started on that, and that's going to be good for us. So if you haven't played Stellaris before, essentially what the goal of Stellaris is to start a planet. We're going to go up to speed 2 for now, out of 3. So your goal is to actually be a species that actually has to go up into the space stars around them and survive and navigate, essentially being a species that just discovered that they are not alone in the universe and that they must conquer and make their place. Is essentially the gist of it. Oh, well, we're already done with the second ship, so we're going to go ahead and recruit another individual. Now, the best time to do this is early on. Oh, bugger. I wanted that guy. Let's see. We're going to hire Google, but what we're actually going to do is we're going to take this guy off that work, put him in there, and then we're going to put Google up into his spot. Brewing. I sweated. Over into his spot. So he's going to be doing the ship stuff. Oh, we already found a strategic resource. Exotic gases. Awesome. Okay.
Star system charted.
So we're going to go ahead and get that going. Get these people up and running, and he's going to be sent over this way. I have a really bad habit about constantly stopping. Oh! A gateway already! An ancient space station of some kind has been located at the edge of the IREM system. The strong residual subspace signature that surrounds the space station indicates that it may be a gateway of sorts. Part of a theoretical network of similar stations at some point would have allowed for near instantaneous travel between different parts of the galaxy. Assuming this is a gateway, its current state of disrepair has rendered it unusable. And if restored into working order, its owner would potentially be of great access. Potentially be able to access any other functional gateway in the galaxy, enabling travel across huge distances in a matter of days. That is really good. We got really lucky with capturing that early on, and it's right next to us. Now, the real question is, where the hell does it go?
Tactical retreat.
Grey Disciples. Ooh, spicy. A few centuries ago, a group of radical priests and their devoted followers on Varvavok broke away from the established religions to form their own church. Hello, viewer. I appreciate you for stopping by. Say hi in the chat or subscribe if you'd like. Or it's not subscribe. That's the wrong stream platform. Go ahead and follow me. I should have alerts on. So, anyway. These extremists call themselves the Great Disciples and have been responsible for many atrocities and acts of terror over the years. Although they have kept a low profile in modern times, we recently learned that many of their agents have infiltrated our military. These renegades have secretly been diverting resources to the construction of a small fleet of starships at a hidden facility on Varvavok. When their treachery was revealed, the cultists blasted into orbit with their ships and fled to Jerquilia.
Situation updated.
So wait, where was this? Oh, they're in our... Oh. They're here? Are we in a fight with them already? Oh yeah, we are. Oh shoot. First fight already. Man, we are starting fresh and ready to go. Our valiant space forces have skillfully disabled a ship in the cultist armada. It is mostly intact, and we are picking up the faint signs of life inside of its hull. Once we have eliminated all threats within the immediate vicinity, we should conduct a boarding operation to secure any survivors. They may be able to tell us more about the ultimate motives of the Great Disciples. That's actually really good because that also means that we get some early research projects. Man, this is a bopper, huh? So yeah, this is going to be our Stellaris playthrough. This is what we're set up for the foreseeable future. Discovery of alien life. The spore Yamwultun has made a startling find on Iram 2. The planet is teeming with alien life. For the first time in history, we have encountered alien life. An amazing discovery has silenced those that believed we were alone in the universe. Oh, we are a buzz. While far from intelligent, we are excited. Alright, we are going to make some fleet ships at some point, but early on in the game, I don't like doing it. First, contact protocols. Our recent encounter with alien life forms have reignited and made suddenly more urgent the old debate of how we should approach contacting any potentially intelligent alien civilizations we may meet. Ah, they left. While some advocate focusing on establishing friendly relations as quickly as possible by contacting them with message of peace, others advise cautions, pointing out that we cannot know whether alien minds bear ill intent towards us, and that it would be unwise to let them know too much about us before it is necessary. A third, more radical group push for preemptive action against them, with the security of all Volctorians at risk. They say we dare not hesitate to take whatever measures necessary to gain an upper hand against any potential Xeno threat. Now we are genetic Puritans, and now we've discovered there are other people around. How would we react to this? We think we are on the way to purity. Is it wise to be cautious? I think we're going to be cautious because we don't know what kind of genetic impurities are out there. See, now the reason I'm dictating this is because we're actually going about with the story as we do so. So understand that is where we are going with this. We are trying to create a narrative.
Hulks vivisected.
Awesome. Oh, I actually have to send my fleet there.
Special project complete.
Alright, boarding action. Sorry, I was looking at something else for a sec. Though the survivors offered stiff resistance, our boarding party was able to secure several positions from the disabled cultist starship. From them, we have learned that this conspiracy goes far deeper than we initially suspected. The agents of the Grey Disciples include several flag officers and high-ranking officials within our government. Mass arrests are being made on Varvardock, and all assets belonging to this cult have been seized. However, several of the starships they built in secret remain unaccounted for, and the upper echelons of the cult leadership have vanished. We have picked on the faint ion trails leading towards several outlying systems. We will pursue these terrorists as they seek to avoid our genetic perfection. This is not acceptable to our people. So we are going to repair. We're up and ready to go. Make sure that our workers have plenty of work to go do. Habitable World Survey. Sorry. We now know without a doubt that thriving biosphere is not something unique to Varvardock. Both the scientists community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of life around the galaxy. Efforts to contain the life forms we encounter are already underway, but the xenobiologists have urged us to focus our planetary service on habitable, life-bearing worlds. A commendable initiative. We can learn much about the genetic makeup of other species. We have found metallic sands. Scanners indicate that sandy dunes of Siloja are almost entirely compound of granulate rare metals. Perhaps some valuable resources could be extracted from them. The Rossian Concordant. Ooh, spicy. We have recovered artifacts from an alien civilization on Iram 7-8. From what we have translated so far of their language, we have learned that these aliens call themselves the Assyrian Concordant. They are an interstellar power that held sway over this region of the galaxy more than 1 million years ago. They appear to have been six-limbed mammalians, and there are several references to some sort of plague called the Jorvian Pox, which swept across the Empire with devastating results, possibly leading to their extinction. Excellent, excellent. We have learned the way of the people that came before. Intelligent life taunts with pointed absence. Reads a popular Newsnet post on Varvardock. 2 years into our space travels, no less. The people of Vaktorin genetic dictatorship are apparently finding some humor in the fact that lower forms of alien life are now a matter of public record, but potential equals in the stars continue to elude us. The report of the traces of alien life was recently found seemingly only add an ironic twist to the situation.
Star system charge.
Alright. Nanosand, the spores, Yem Nargud crew is excited to report an unanticipated find in the surface of Siluj. Not only are the plentiful sand dunes on the planet composed of rare metal granulate, the sand itself is almost entirely composed of countless broken nanites. Oh wow. These microscopic machines are millions of years old, their structure degraded far beyond any chance for reactivation. While we cannot determine a source of origin for these nanomachines, the societies that created them must have been highly technological in advantage. Or, yeah, try that again, Devin. The society that created them must have been highly technologically advanced. Science Officer Spores Yemem Nagud postulates that the nanites may have been used to terraform the surface millions of years ago. So that's exciting. I've never had nanites before in this game. So we're going to go ahead and apparently buy our first tradition. Now, I feel like it's important for us to really set this off on the right foot. Now, we are genetically genetic Puritans. Adaptability does make sense. We need to figure out how to adapt. We did do nutritional bonding, I believe. Let's go ahead and find out. Evolved nutritional absorption. This species has undergone a transformation process, allowing them to better extract necessary nutrients from their food, thus requiring less of it and allowing for increased production compared to consumption. Alright, so we already got that. We could go ahead and go with adaptability here. But I also feel inclined to eventually go into discovery, but it's really a matter of which one do we want to do. Because I don't really think there's much of a reason to be adaptable right now, except that it does offer us extra housing population, so we could cram more people, but it does pay off to become discovery based. It makes a little bit of sense if we think about the fact that they would actually have to have a good connective understanding to start going through genealogy. So we're going to go with discovery. And we're probably going to go ahead with to boldly go first. And the reason I want to go to boldly go is because it increases our survey speed, which means that we have a higher chance of actually going and collecting resources by claiming all of these territories around us. So we're going to go ahead and start off the right way, on the right foot. And we're going to go ahead and start designing a ship. I feel like that should be our first and foremost, the most important thing that we do. Because if we add this bad boy, we get a little bit of an extra boost. We don't have much in the way of anything else. But then we can also go ahead and start getting rid of the auto-designed ships. Because the auto-designed ships, as nice as they may be, for helping speed up the process, they are not that great. I don't know what's going on with this server I just joined. Efforts to map the surface of this planet have identified a strange mountain range in the southern hemisphere. It doesn't seem to be formed naturally. The colossal impact crater hints at something big happened or hit the surface of the moon once. Okay, we're actually popping off with some pretty good events. My previous playthroughs, we didn't have this many this quickly, and look at us now. We're going to go ahead and we're going to actually gamble a little bit. Do a third scientist ship, and we're also going to build another construction ship. A massive crater on Saluj Va 5A appears to be the result of a collision with the starship. From the size of the crater, we suspect that the ship was exiting a hyperlane at a maximum velocity, rammed the moon, and for reasons unknown, 10,000 years ago. The Spores has picked up the residual subspace echoes near the crash, reminiscent of a collapsed hyperparticulate field, but the ship itself disintegrated on impact. The theory cannot be verified. Man, can't talk. What was previously thought to be an assorted mountain in the southern hemisphere of Shinik 4 has been identified as a massive skeleton remnants of a single colossal alien life form. The bones have been dated 3.4 billion years old, but our scientists have ruled out Shinik could have supported life that once on that scale at any point in the planet's history. Scientific officers have prepared a special research project. Excellent. We're going to go ahead and do that research. Now, here's the thing about having all of these ships that I'm going to be using to fix this planet area up, is that chances are things are not going to go well for us. Wait, what am I even saying? Sorry, I brain farted there. The point of building these science ships is for us to have things go well for us in the short haul. Because if you notice, it looks like this way is closed off completely. So our goals are to go there and there. So we're going to go ahead and tell you, do your research project. We're actually going to have you go through survey here, survey here, survey here. And we're going to see where you are at. We're going to get you... We do not have the unit. Okay. So I only really need to hang out for Unity for another 2 months, and then I can hire another scientist. Go ahead and upgrade these bad boys real quick. And just like that, we are fully taken care of. This is not going to be great for us, I don't think, but you know, it is what it is. Ooh. An artificial construct thousands of kilometers across is readily available in the Seleuge 6's orbit. The shape seems to indicate a location of importance in the middle of it. Sensory readings from orbit indicate nothing out of the ordinary. Closer inspection is needed. Actually, we're going to go ahead and just let this all play out naturally. We're going to go ahead. We're going to tell you, my friend, to go build a mining station and a research station while your friend goes over here.
Special project.
Our continued studies of the massive skeletal remains on Chinook 4 have managed to shed some light on how the creature ended up on the planet. There are very faint residual energy readings that indicate some kind of dimensional portal existed briefly towards the rear of the skeleton. Science operator Pugliese theorized that the creature passed through this gateway from another dimension, only to quickly perish in a hostile environment. Why it did this and where it came from are questions that may never be answered. Alright, so now I can send your friend there to go ahead and claim this star net. Now, why did I start off on Conscious? Because Conscious actually, I believe, starts us off on closed borders until we choose to open them. Which is good if we come across others. We can cut them off. Hopefully we're not forced in the back corner. And if we are, we're going to have to go to war. And war is not going to be great. Now, thankfully, we know that the Grey Disciples are here. Yet another cultist fleet loyal to the Grey Disciples has been sighted in the Seleuge system. This time, however, their numbers include a strange ship of unfamiliar design. So they've made new ships. However, they're not going to be good enough against us. We have sighted the ships flying in the flag of the Grey Disciples in the Chama system. They have charged their weapons and are moving to intercept us. Alright, alright. We're discovering things. We have hostile fleets coming our way. And we've already gone ahead and secured the next technology. We're going to go ahead and go into nanomechanics because we do need engineering research, so that's going to be much important to us. Let's go ahead and watch this battle. Optical sensors isolate a cluster of shapes in the barren surface of Shiznik, or that could be a building. Really? They're weaker though! Wow, we got destroyed. We are not superior fungi. Whew. Now, how long will it take us to get our soldiers back? Just a month? Well, that's alright. What we're going to do then, in that case, if it's just going to take us a month, we're going to go ahead and build some Corvettes, and we're going to go ahead into this section of space, and we're just going to have to deal with it. Are they just going to leave this guy alone, though? Oh, wow. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to have to do for society research, we're going to go ahead and do genetic G-mapping. That way our population grows quicker. And we're going to go ahead and delve into administrative AI. We don't really care that much about AI in this book. Where are you, my friend? We're going to go ahead and send you Liquirda. Over here, so we don't bother losing you. We're actually going to send you surveying this way. And that way, we can actually getting out in the world. And we have our new tradition, so what we're going to do is go to hit to boldly go. Are we just surrounded on all sides by this? What's going on? More ships belonging to Grey Disciples have been encountered in the man-world system. Oh! Will it ever end? Alright, we're going to go ahead and just claim these two stations. Because I don't want anybody coming through this gate at all. Like, that is not acceptable for me. I've had it in previous playthroughs where getting through that whole door is not great. Alright, so we are getting up there in numbers. Fleet managers, alright. We're going to just keep letting them build up here. And the nice thing about this is that we don't have to keep rebuilding, right? Unusual tectonics. Yamutun found a Chinook 5, or not buildings, but surprisingly regular mineral outcroppings. Science officer Pergolese asserts that these angular blocks of rock are the product of interactions between tectonic plates. Their shapes result in the unusual technophysics inherent in the planet's crust. The perfect angularity of the thrust fault of these thrust faults implies the possibility of alien tampering at the crust at some points in the past. Another skill. Oh, really? Military theory skill. Of course, after we send him out into space, then he develops something good. I thought our original fleet was already better than that. Am I just dumb? Alright, we're gonna go ahead with Admiral Woolagard. And we're gonna go straight into their numbers. Let's go ahead and start actually building up our planet now that it seems like we have some resources. What would be good for us? We really do need to increase our commercial product value. So I think that our next idea would be civilian industries, and that way we can start making products for our people in way of genetically modified products, as well as other products that are less genetically modified. You know, actually, I'm going to go ahead and make them go here. Actually, survey. Survey, survey. We're going to go all the way up to the fire clouds too. Now, the reason that I'm going to go up there is because I, in particular, do want to cut them off from taking over our lands. And, you know, if we're out here by the time that we make our border, and then there's nothing else going down this way, we don't have to worry about it. Whereas if I build down here, we're going to get all sorts of stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and watch this spectacle. Yes! The cult fleet has been devastated. So we're going to go ahead and scan that stuff. Send our people back to go heal, and we're going to go start.
Star system charted.
We're actually going to go ahead into our fleet ship designer. We've got an interceptor corvette, but we're going to go ahead and make new designs, because I don't just want interceptors. We do need some missile boats. So we got nuclear missiles for our armaments, red lasers. We're going to go ahead and do a reactor booster. And go ahead and pile these bad boys on. We're going to name this the Yog Sothoth class. And then we're also going to make a picket ship. Now, we do not have any AI for our combat computers, so our combat computers are going to be poopy for a while. We're going to go ahead, and I actually like the flak battery better. There is a little bit of a difference in terminology of exact of what they do. So it has accuracy and better tracking with range, but this one's tracking is a lot better. So flak battery is actually going to be... Honestly, it's going to be a little bit better, so I'm going to go with the flak on this particular build. We're going to go ahead and do this. Bam, bam, boom. We're in the room. And we're going to name this the Yogurthi. And that's what the Yogurthi class is. And now we're going to go back to our shipyard. We're going to go ahead and build those for now. And then the nice thing is we do have access to the marketplace, so we could theoretically go and build more stuff right now, right? But I don't want to necessarily do that. What I do want to do is go ahead and get us another scientist figure. He can be our archaeologist, because that is what he is good at. Okay. Go ahead and build there. Found a precursor clue. Let's do it. Alright, so we've gone ahead and figured out all of that from what we can from the debris, so we're going to go ahead and go back on our journey. Back to the Fire Cloud Nebula.
Construction complete.
Go ahead and build research, mining stations. And then we're going to go right on over here after all of that. I believe you're already hanging out there. Okay. We definitely need you to build. We're going to go ahead and go against those Grey Disciples again. Actually, let's not do that quite yet, because we do have more resources for at least 2 more ships, and we do need the Yagathori. We could survive without them, but I just feel like it would be a better call for us to go ahead and get 2 of these guys. Alright, so what we're going to be doing here first thing and foremost is getting these ships going. We're going to go ahead and charge right on in. Their hulls are still destroyed somewhat, so we do have the ability to overpower them with sheer stubbornness of will. Now, unfortunately for me, I am stuck in there with that guy, but it's okay because we're going to get out of here sooner or later. We're going to go ahead and get these resources claimed. And then he's going to go there. Someone using a mining laser from orbit approximately 5,000 years ago have carved a large body of writing into the surface of Manward 5. The massive script covers a large portion of the planet's upper atmosphere and appears to have a short, difficult life to alien mercenary. Oh. Some sign of unknown structure is floating in this gas giant's upper atmosphere. Yep, there we go. Cultist fleet destroyed. We didn't even lose one vessel, but they lost all of theirs, which is better for me. And you know what? Since we didn't even seem to take damage, we're just going to go roll right on into the next. You, my friend, can come back here.
Tactical retreat.
Now he can flee back to where he needs to. We have a social experiment. A small aerostat colony was found floating just above the atmosphere of Manward 8. It appears to have self-sufficient, and remains from several different species were found on board. As best as we can tell, the colony was some sort of social experiment conducted centuries ago that ultimately ended with the colonists massacring each other. We have downloaded all of the data found within the colony's limited database. Interesting. Now, we have been streaming for about an hour and a half, and we haven't really seen much in the way of people. We're going to go ahead and take one more attempt to go ahead and tweet out to get some more people to come in and say hi. And if they don't, well, then I'm SOL. Well, you know, it is the way it is. If you do happen to stop and say hi, I really do appreciate it. I do want to see that you are here, and if you're not here, or, you know, whatever you're feeling like saying. Hey, Deadly, I appreciate the follow if you're here, and if you're not, oh well, but, you know, appreciate you nonetheless. We're just going to keep on trugging along.
Construction complete. Construction complete.
We are just destroying these poor guys, huh? We have defeated the cultist forces encountered so far, but these engagements have raised a number of alarming questions. The Grey Disciples have been deploying far more ships than they could possibly have built in secrecy on Varvavok, and now they are pitting large warships of unknown designs against us. Where are these ships coming from? Are there more warships like the one we just destroyed? We should investigate the debris for answers. Now we're going to go back and repair. You get to work on both of these research projects, because we need to find out the secrets that these vessels hold. We never know what they're going to tell us, so that is very important information for us. So you're going to go repair. Then once you go ahead and do that, we're going to go ahead and do survey. Let's go ahead and get our new... You know, I like miniature containment fields because even more research. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to get research going right off the bat here. Because the better that we do with our research, the better we get to move around, the better we get more technologies, the quicker rather. The quicker we get technologies, the better we can get around. And the more we can get around, the more we can conquer. Now, the early stages is very important because you need to actually be able to get yourself a good boundary, a good border, and you want to survive it. Recovery efforts complete. After sifting through the battle debris left by the strange cultist warship we destroyed, our scientists believe that they may have divined the source of the ship's Grey Disciples. Hey, I appreciate you for stopping by. Sorry, I'm not in the stream manager right now. Hi, Katie. I appreciate the follow. Good to see ya. Thankful somebody's here with me right now. We're currently at 47 followers now, thanks to you. 3 more, and we'll be at affiliate status, potentially. Our scientists believe that they may have divined the source of ships from the Grey Disciples have been throwing against us. Fragments from a log file mention that some kind of abandoned alien shipyard discovered by the cultist fleeing Veldrun. They have been using the automated shipyard to reinforce their numbers. And now they are even producing new ships from alien templates found within the station's memory base. This cannot be allowed to continue. Is that another follow I just heard? Let us find out. Stream Manager really needs to work on its updates. I heard the ping. Apologies if I missed you. Please go ahead and say hello in the chat. My Stream Manager is not updating itself, so I cannot see who that was. I'm going to make sure that's working right real quick. That might be my bad. Please hold on. Let me just make sure that's working for us. So how are you guys doing today? I'm excited to see you here today. I haven't seen too many in the way of people here. The shipyard must be destroyed.
Technology secured.
Alright, so the very next thing we're going to do is go hop into finding out about factions. That's exactly what I wanted to do right now. A new faction has recently been gaining traction on the internal politics landscape of Vok-Torin, genetic dictatorship. Led by the Science Quorum, we call themselves the Association of Research Efficiency. They want the advancements of the sciences. Oh, we have another one, Imperial Unity Movement. They want political and military power. Now, if you don't know about factions, you do have to understand one thing. They will have influence over how we develop if we allow them to get out of control, and we can do different kind of objectives to try to maintain their good temperament, to prevent them from wanting to get out of control and come at us. And we can hook at them here. Like, all they want for the research efficiency group is for AI to be allowed to grow uninhibited. However, our Imperial Unity Movement wants autocracy, stratified society, and oppressive subjugation policies. So we are authoritarian, and we are very genetically minded. We want to be genetic Puritans. So the whole point of this is to actually keep us
Anomaly found.
in a means. I wonder why that token's not working. I apologize. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and it's like changing every other day on me. I'm going to go ahead and fix that real quick. The avocado does it again. I really don't know what goes on with that and why it doesn't want to come up. We'll worry about it later. I don't know why it doesn't like to work for me. Oh, more precursor technology. Just what we need. The Tadurg homeworld. Was the homeworld of the Tadurg roughly 1.2 million years ago, a client species of Eurasian concordat. They were winged anthropods. Recovered fossils suggest they were capable of at least limited flight. What little we've seen of their surviving architecture supports this theory. Unfortunately, there are few remains of this civilization, as the planet seems to be subjected under massive orbital bombardment. This is going to kind of annoy me if the browser thing don't work. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take a break for a little bit just to figure this out. Come back in about 5 minutes and we'll see where we're at.